Hi everyone, this is Suyash and today I'm going to be answering some of your most frequently asked questions. These are the questions that you guys have sent on comments to YouTube or on Instagram messages or emailed it to us, and I thought it was high time that I put it all together in a video. So I have the questions here with me and I'll take it one by one. So do stay till the end because I have a nice announcement at the end which involves a new destination for Safari with Suyash in 2024. Okay, here we go. The first question is, Suyash, where are you from? Are you Indian? यार देसी हूँ यार, दिखता नहीं है शक्ल से, थोड़ा बोलने का ढंग अलग होगा. It's because education बाहर हुई है and I present in front of camera, but देसी हूँ. I'm very much Indian. I'm born and brought up in Madhya Pradesh, in Narsinghpur, and lived all across central India, in Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, lived a bit in Delhi, moved to US, lived there for about 6 years, and then came back and been living in India since then. Where I live currently is mostly in Bandhavgarh, 250-300 days of the year. When I'm not in Bandhavgarh, I'm in different parks, Satpura, Pench, Tadoba, Kanha, and besides that, sometimes in Delhi. Okay, so second question, how do you track tigers? That is amazing. I love answering this question because I really love tracking tigers. As you can see, tigers, Suyash, tigers, Suyash. Anyway, so there are a few ways that we track tigers. Number one, we listen to the forest. Anytime a big cat is on the prowl and walking around, other animals, especially herbivores, will make an alarm call. Monkeys would look at the tiger or the leopard and go like that. Deer will make alarm call like we're gonna play some videos for you and you can compare who did it better, Suyash or the actual animal. And let us know in the comments below, okay? And of course, there will be birds and even squirrels making alarm calls, and those are very difficult to identify, and only if you've been in the wild enough and if you're trained and skilled tracker will you be able to identify them. Second, tigers, wherever they're walking, they try to walk in the path of least resistance. So a lot of times that means they're going to prefer a road or a safari track. And the safari tracks are usually sandy. So when they're walking in the safari tracks, they're leaving their footprints and pug marks. So we see the footprint and the pug mark and see how fresh it is. If it's very fresh, we know that the tiger is around. And if you want a more detailed video on how to track tigers through their pug marks, then we're going to drop a link right below and you can watch that. It's like a 10-minute video and I tell you how to interpret a tiger pug mark. The third thing we do is, of course, listen for tigers themselves. A lot of the times, tigers will growl or announce their presence in the wild, either to mark their territory or to let intruders know that, this is my region, my area, my territory, or to call for cubs. So a male tiger announcing his presence would go something like "Arr, arr, arr," like that. Even females do that. And if a female is trying to call for her cubs, she'll go kind of like a chuffing voice, like "Ow, ow, ow, ow," like that. And similarly, if you're a very skilled tracker, you'll also know what some different calls mean and emotions. There are times that I have heard tigers make this really long, mournful, emotional calls after losing their cubs or after losing to another tiger in a fight, and that goes something like this. You see, the pitch is much longer. There is a kind of mournful tone to it. When Spotty lost her cubs, we saw Spotty doing this. When Solo lost her cubs, we saw Solo doing it. So that's how we know that the tiger's in the area. Okay, next question is, Suyash, how did you become a wildlife presenter and filmmaker, and how can I do the same? Guys, that is a very important question, but also I will not do justice unless I tell you the entire story. You know, I can't summarize the story in about 30 seconds. So what I feel that, you know, this requires an entirely new video on its own, and we're gonna do that for you. After I finish recording this, I'm gonna record a video for you guys specifically for that and post it. So stay tuned for that.
So yeah, there's another question I just saw. I really wanted to tell you right away. I'm sorry for interrupting the
Okay. Let's see.
the comment is, your work is fascinating and you as a person are also very fascinating and handsome. Being a male, I find you very handsome. Only God knows what might be the reaction of girls. You're very charming.
Oh, thanks, Pa. That's a strange question, but also a very cute and generous comment that made me very happy. Who is it from? You don't want to share the name. Parth says we should protect his identity and not share the name. But thank you. That's very sweet of you. And I hope that I can meet you someday and you can talk more. But I don't know how to really answer that because, yeah, I'm a married man now. Anyway, we'll move forward. We're not gonna digress, but thank you so much once again. It really makes me happy when people admire me. Of course, who doesn't like a little bit of admiration? Okay, what is the equipment you use? Wow, we use a lot of different equipment. Our photography and film line is very different, but on both lines we use Sony exclusively. The Sony cameras are amazing. So for my photography, I usually use Sony A1 with 400mm f2.8, and for my filming, I stick to either the FX3 or the FX6 with 200, 600 or 100, 400 lenses. And what we can do again is attach a video link right here for you, which is gonna go into everything that is in my bag, and you must watch that video and it'll help you buy the right equipment. Okay, another question is, how can we learn wildlife photography? Can you teach us? Yes, absolutely. I would love to teach you wildlife photography. We actually have an online masterclass and wildlife photography course where I go into all the details from aperture, ISO, white balance, shutter speed, and also composition, what camera to choose, what different settings to use in different lighting. You can see all of that and subscribe to it on tv.suyashkeshi.com, and we're gonna put a link below. It's about a couple hours of learning and you can learn at your own pace. How can we work with you? Time to time we offer opportunities for people to work with us, and usually these opportunities are posted online on Instagram, Facebook, and through our email newsletter. If you want to work with us, just leave a comment down below and we can send you some of our applications next time we have a job posting available. But we hire pretty regularly, so make sure you tune into our social media throughout. We're always looking for new talent. And just a little suggestion, we get a lot of responses on these job postings, but the way we filter them out is only selecting those people who are really serious and bring something to the table. So make sure if you want to apply, you know what you bring to the table, what you add to Safari with Suyash, and how we can grow together. Next question is, how are you a conservationist? That's a great question, and I would love to share some conservation activities with you that we do. Number one, we have our apparel line where 100% of the profits are donated to wildlife conservation efforts. Over the years, we have built 2 water holes for wildlife in water deficit areas in Bandhavgarh National Park. Again, this is completely our work, and of course in collaboration with Forest Department of Bandhavgarh. They gave us the permission. We applied for all the permits ahead of time and figured out the area with their suggestions as well. Once we built these water holes, immediately lots of animals found it useful. They're coming to drink water, lots of birds are coming, and best part is a family of tigers moved into the first water hole and another family of tigers moved into the second water hole. There were sloth bears coming, there were leopards coming, and that is one of the best conservation efforts and that we've done, that we've implemented and seen the results very fast and very easily. Another effort that we did is, along with our partners at Fable in Maine and Nikita and Akash Mehta, who are my friends, we donated essential items for anti-poaching units in Bandhavgarh. So over 250 staff of Bandhavgarh National Park of the anti-poaching unit were equipped with shoes, torches which are solar powered, can also charge your phone, with solar lanterns. Until now, these camps did not even have any electricity. So of the 175 anti-poaching camps in Bandhavgarh, only a few had electricity, and through this project we electrified all of them through solar power. We also donated raincoats and bags to them, and we could see that this really had a good impact on the morale of the staff, but also the way they were working. They were able to do their work more effectively and thereby conserve the spaces that you and I love. Of course, there are many other small-scale projects on conservation that we do. A lot of it is involving education of students in these rural areas, donations to different organizations like Last Wilderness Foundation and also WWF. Anyway, we're going to be announcing some more conservation initiatives in the coming year, in season 2023 and 24. Our safari season begins in October, so that's why we refer to it as a safari season, from October all the way till June. And stay tuned for those announcements. Let's see, there are two more questions, and I'm going to take this one first, and that is, what are your future plans and what can we look forward to? So this is the announcement that I've been waiting for, and that is, we are announcing Africa for 2024. The entire 2024 will be focused in Africa, and I can't wait to get back, because that's where I received a lot of my training. That's where I made documentary series, my first ever documentary there. And I really love the wildlife there. It's a completely different ball game. What is very exciting about Africa and different from India is, one, you have more species and more number of animals to photograph and film and even observe. A lot of the times what happens in Indian wildlife and Indian jungles is the wildlife is often hidden by the dense undergrowth, so you're not able to see them. In Africa, the plains, especially of Masai Mara and Serengeti, where we'll be doing a lot of these tours, they are vast and open, and you're able to see thousands of animals in a game drive, which is crazy. What is also amazing is, recently India is really facing a lot of pressure with over-tourism. I've spoken about this in many videos on Instagram, and what I feel is that what the parks need to focus on is modifying the tourism by separating the vehicles into many more different zones. Right now, only 20% of the parks are open. 20% of each park is open for tourism, whereas 80% is closed. And a lot of people think this 80% is inviolate space, and that was the idea. But in Bandhavgarh alone, there are many villages in this 80% area, and they go in and out, and local population moves freely. So in this area, there's hardly any tourism. Villagers living here don't benefit from tourism, and as a result, they're looking for alternative sources of income. Number one, farming. Number two, logging. Farming requires clearance of forest, and of course that creates a lot of wood for people, timber, and they sell it. So the minute you give them this model which Africa follows, which is community conservation and getting more communities involved in tourism, the minute you give them this, they leave any of the dependency on the forest behind and instead help with tourism. Right now, about 30 to 50 vehicles are allowed in every zone in parks across central India. Imagine if we open more zones, say in Bandhavgarh alone, where there are only 3 zones open. Instead, we open 20 different zones, and in every single zone, we only keep 5 vehicles. That will have less pressure on the animals, that will have less pressure on the land, and create equal opportunities for people living in other parts of Bandhavgarh as well. Because right now, only a few villages of the almost 200 villages around Bandhavgarh benefit. A lot of people might say and push back saying, Suyash, no, that's disturbing animals in the 80% and it's not good. But that's not true. The 80% is still not inviolate space. It is still being disturbed by local populations and villagers moving in and out. So this is a good way to monitor the wildlife there, as well as add income sources for the local population. Which brings me to the last question, which says, how can I join you on a safari immediately? I don't know why the immediate phase, but there are many ways to join me or my team on safari. We have an entire team of dedicated safari directors who are trained by me and are now experts in this field, and we lead tours across India and now Africa. You can just go to www.suyashkeshi.com, click on safaris, see all of our itineraries, and just book one of them online. Or if you want a personalized, customized itinerary, you can just email us on safarivithsuyash@gmail.com. Alright, that's it for today, guys. I hope this FAQ was helpful. If there are some questions that I did not answer, why don't you leave it in the comments below, and I would love to answer them. Talk to you guys next time. Thank you as always for your support, for your love, and for following me in this journey. I love you guys. Take care and bye-bye.